So Ben, obviously it's another 0-0 here at home against Hayes Yeading. Obviously another one in the game, but we've gone on top. How are you and the lads feeling after that?
I've tried to be a little bit more positive because look, we all feel the same frustration. We all see how the games are going. Sound like a bit of a broken record, but we know the performances are brilliant and they are dominating, and I don't feel like I've ever in my career been involved in teams that are so on top. Which generally, like we said before, it does happen when you're so on top and you're desperate for that goal and it's not falling for you and it's hitting the post or you're not getting the decisions. Generally in football that is how it can go. But I've tried picking the boys up a little bit after that game, because one thing that I think we need to add is I think every 0-0 we've had, the opponents have got better. I think Herne Bay were a stronger opponent, and obviously being a Kent derby, so we knew that was going to be a tougher game, and again we rose to it and dominated in the same manner. Today they're a very good team. They've won 4 on the bounce and we expected to be in for a bit of a 50-50 game, and if I'm honest, I think we were massively on top. And in the end they even went to a back 5 to see the game out, and they've got very good defenders and they have seen the game out well. I think the one thing we're frustrated with, where the conditions were the way they were today, we needed to do a bit more on our set pieces. We need to get those first contacts on those set pieces, and I think all it took was just a little flick, a little glance, a little first runner to have that desire to get ahead of the ball, and I think we win that game. But I think it's one of them. We're still in the FA Cup. The cliches are there. On Monday we're going to find out what the following draw could be, but we've now got a long travel on Tuesday night, and we've got to go to their ground, and they're going to take the game to us a little bit. So looking forward to having an away fixture and looking forward to just improve on what we've been doing.
Obviously, speaking about struggling for goals, you can pick out someone specifically. Lucas hasn't had the greatest start of the season. He's only got 1 in the FA Cup so far. Do you think it's a matter of when rather than if he'll start picking up goals in this team?
Lucas will 100% pick up goals. So will our other forwards in terms of the way I look at it. We've got this year Lucas and Ibs, who we know are proven goal scorers. So it's not a case of are they going to score goals, it's more a case of how can we get them goals and what have we got to do. And obviously we're in a bit of a rut regarding penalties, and I'm included in that. Steve Gawley's included in that from last year, and if you look at our run of penalties, I know I scored 1 in the FA Cup, however we're on a poor run, and sometimes as a team that can affect you, because normally when you get a penalty you're thinking this is a goal, we're going to go ahead, whereas at the moment it's all what's going to happen, because like we said we were on the back end of some poor penalties at the end of last year, and that's been taken into a little bit this year. So that's a difficulty. But the thing I said at half time I was really positive about was the fact that after we missed that penalty, same thing as at Ashford, Ibs went and scored, and today we went and kept putting the performance on. We kept taking chances to them, we kept going to them in the game, and the performance never dropped. And in all these games the performance hasn't dropped, and that's hard, because when you're as frustrated as we are, I'm sure the fans are frustrated that they've seen 3 0-0s, but we have to look at the bigger picture, and we have to say not at one moment in any of those games has it felt like we're going to lose a game of football.
You spoke about the 3 0-0s there. Obviously, you can also look at it and play devil's advocate and think, well, we've still yet to actually concede a goal at home. Mm-hmm. Are you proud of how Harry Hudson's managing to control the defence so far?
Yeah, not just Harry Hudson, Tom Ray, Knighty and the fullbacks. Obviously, we've had Rossi and Kai playing, and Harrison on the other side. So even T's come on today, and obviously we know how strong T is. And this has been one of the first times when we spoke to the defenders in pre-season, we knew we were going to use them a lot, and actually we haven't really been able to, because you've got T, who's a proven non-league centre-half for 20 years, and how strong he is and how effective he is for us. We haven't been able to give him the game time that he obviously wants to have at the moment, and that's brilliant from him on the side, because he knows the 2 centre-halves, Knighty and Harry, have been superb and they're getting their clean sheets. Same as Kai and Rossi. Each one of them deserves to start a game of football. So massive positives coming from them. We can be the little bit critical to them and say, look, 99% of your game has been brilliant, but can we get on the end of those set pieces, and can you go and get yourself 5 to 10 goals a season? And it's hard to say, because it's a striker's job to score, and it is down to our forwards. And like I said, we've got the forwards there, and I think we've been in the past where we've relied on a couple of players to get the goals rather than your number 9s, myself being one of them. And I feel like this year we've got the players to score goals, we just need to have that confidence lift. And even the other boys in training, they're flying in. We're creating brilliant chances, but we just need that little bit more ruthlessness. And look, Flan touched on it in there. If you're going for a dip and you're dominating games of football, and your dip is 0-0s and being the better team in the game, you would take that dip. And I've said plenty of times already, we scored in every game in pre-season. We scored 2 goals against Ashford, we scored 4 goals against Loxford here. So the goals are there. It's just been 3 games of football we haven't scored, and it feels like it's been forever and longer because of how dominating those performances have been.
Obviously the schedule now looks towards the Cups, and we've got the replay on Tuesday, but we also have the Kent Senior Cup soon. Do you feel there'll be a nice little shake up just to be able to go away to these places? Obviously we scored away in Ashford. Do you feel like we can go there, finally put some goals in, and maybe put this little attacking rut behind us?
Yeah, I don't want to put the pressure on, because I'd much prefer being in the position where we're in and we're creating opportunities, rather than you're having a 0-0 and you're walking in going, not sure what we can do here, we need to change a lot of things. At the moment, all we need to change is putting that ball in the back of the net, and I've said that before. And at the end of the day, we're not riding our luck. Like I said, it's not falling to us perfectly. It's never dropped to them. We win the second ball and it's an easy goal. And it's a lot of decisions as well. We put the ball in the back of the net, I think 2 or 3 times today, and it's been pulled back. And sometimes when it's not going your way, it's not going your way. And I don't see home or away being too different. We're going to go out there and we're going to try and put on the same performance away from home. Obviously, it might be a little bit more positive for them, getting us to go back there and getting us to travel there. But we stick together. And like we said, we've got a lot of cup games coming up, and I think that's a good opportunity to push each other still. And players are pushing each other.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries.